I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, February the 23rd, brought to you in part by Tonto Cassette Real Estate, or Tom Cassette for those that don't know him as well. He and his associate there, Jason Bates, have a premier cattle farm up for sale there with their real estate company. You remember here a few months back I was advertising one. They got that one sold, got it closed on, and now featuring this premier cattle farm in southwest Missouri. It sits north of Bolivar, Missouri, right on Highway 83 and close to Highway 13, to give you an idea about where it's at. It's about 2,140 acres, 400 of that being mature timber and the balance being real premium quality bottom land. It's improved pastures there, a lot of cross fencing. They'd had a purebred operation there using that facility, but a lot of amenities, 4 wells, multiple ponds and streams throughout, automatic waterers, hay barns, a shop, equipment shed, grain bins, pipe corrals, everything you'd want to put on a place to run cattle there. And if you're interested in that piece of property, you could arrange for a private viewing there. Get a hold of them at Tom Cassette Real Estate. Select is higher than choice. And you think, what? That doesn't make sense. Select cuts of beef, which is just a few more specks of marbling, but more intramuscular fat than what choice is. On your cutout value report come out late on Tuesday there, your Select actually posted a higher price than choice. And you think, how in the heck can that happen? Well, we've got so many more cattle that are grading choice than Select. The cattle that they're selling now in the carcass were those long yearlings coming off grass. They went on feed at a mature age there. They fed really well, they gained well, they graded well, and those hard yearling cattle right there will just feed and grade so much better than a big calf will that you can't believe it. Well, and also they fed those cattle to heavier carcass weights. So we've got near record carcass weights on the heavy side and very near record all-time grading. There's just so much of that product, and there's a lot of supermarkets and customers, even retail customers that, or I should say food service customers, that feature Select beef. It's not bad stuff, pretty good stuff, just not quite as much marbling as the choice. Well, they're not going to switch those people over to choice. They'll get spoiled on it, and then they won't want the Select anymore. They're going to continue to push that Select product to them. And occasionally, it doesn't happen very often, your Select will quote a higher price than choice. I've been talking about how narrow the choice Select spread was. Well, it was inverted on Tuesday afternoon by $2 a hundred. Not just a few pennies there, but full $2 a hundred, and that's quite a happenstance. Just wanted to make note of that. I was coming to you here from Springfield, Missouri. Had a spring forage conference there. Also had a Bangor Ingelheim event that I spoke at, and visiting with a lot of producers in southwest Missouri, and had some of them send me texts and stuff, and they were just curious and talking about how their recent sales, especially this week, showed that their 4-weight steer calves, for the most part, bring about the same price per head as their 6-weight steer calves. They're thinking, what gives there? Well, it's just, what are guys looking for right now? They're looking for grass cattle, grazing type cattle to turn out whenever that grass first starts to pop, especially in your major grazing areas, your Flint Hills and your Osage and places like that. That's what they're assembling. That's what they want to put together. They're not going into the feedlot with those. There's not a lot of room in the feedlot to put those cattle, so they can take them home, kind of just piss at them some hay, and keep them alive, keep them good and healthy, and have them really ready to go whenever that first grass comes out. But that shows the advantages of fall calving. Because if you're fall calving, you're going to have some lighter stockers when guys are really going after those cattle. And so you got to be flexible and pay attention to your markets and try to have what everybody wants when not everybody else has it. let's talk about your board. And it was the first futures market of the week because we had President's Day on Monday. Then we have all that unrest that's going on in Eastern Europe, and we were a little bit fearful of that. It wasn't as bad on your cattle futures as what I feared it might be, and it was actually higher on your live cattle, but your grains were through the roof, and I tell you, absolutely through the roof. But check out February live cattle futures up 50 cents at 143.75. April up 15 at 146.02. Your back months of your live cattle up 12 to up 40 cents. March feeder cattle down $1.20 at 164.22. April was down $1.72 at 169.12. And all your back months were lower on your feeder cattle, from down 37 cents to down $1.37. And that's mostly all just in response to your grains. Of course, grains and your fertilizer and your fuels are all closely connected. And, this unrest over there in Eastern Europe is definitely not something that we want to see when we're talking about feedstuffs, because your grain's already high, just going through the roof. Look at corn, your March contract up 20.5 cents, closing at 6.74 3/4. Beans up 33.5 at 16.35. Kansas City hard red winter wheat, which they raise a lot of wheat in Russia, up 46.5 cents a bushel at 8.81 3/4. Wow. Your fat cattle trade, we have yet to establish anything yet. We saw Monday that we had some sales kind of before that speech come out of Putin and all the unrest and all that come out before. We saw some 145 trade on Monday. Well, then we didn't see anything like that on Tuesday, but that was to a regional there early on Monday. But it was a buck higher than the absolute top, which happened on Friday after the bulk of the trade last week. And we thought we might continue with that, but I don't think we're going to have a higher fat cattle trade this week, just due to that unrest and that uncertainty. And we didn't have a lot of confirmed sales this on Tuesday, but did have 400 head in Iowa, and they were all at 142, which would be near steady, but on the lower end of the price spread there from last week. Nebraska, no confirmed sales. Kansas had about 500 head at 142, and nothing confirmed in Texas. Box beef cutout values, what we opened this report with was the inverted choice select spread there. Choice cuts on Tuesday afternoon, 261.64, down 245. Selects were up $1.80 and at 263.64, so exactly $2 a hundred higher than the choice cuts. Your slaughter, much improved slaughter or harvest on Tuesday of 123,000, but man, we had some dark plants on Monday and only 108,000 harvested on Monday, President's Day. I didn't know that they did have banker's hours there in your packing plants, but we're going to have a disappointing slaughter this week because of that. But so far for the 2 days, 231,000. That's 13,000 less than last week, 10,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. How about Southwest Commodities? That's Hadley Bunch there in Farwell, Texas. He's got a commodity brokerage there that specializes in cattle and grain hedging. They also sell the LRPs, livestock risk protection insurance policies. That's the hottest thing going, guys. If you want to sleep at night, guarantee yourself some of these impressive quotes that you're seeing on your out fronts on your futures market, then you don't have to worry about margin calls or anything like that. And you don't have to have square loads or square contracts of cattle. But if you're interested in talking to them, just contact them at southwestcommodities.com. Talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Margin Tracks by Midcon. Your real-time index on DB auction late in the day on Tuesday, sitting at 160.74 based on an 800-pound steer. That was down 52 cents from late Monday there. We're just barely clinging to 160, and for the most part, by all practical purposes, an 800-pound steer won't bring 160. A square perfect load of the best 800-pound steers that you could put together still won't bring 160 in most places, especially in the southern plains. Now you get up in the northern plains where you got farmer feeder interests, and yes, you can get that, but it wasn't for the most part, and just very few quotes weighing in the eights bringing better than 160, and that's kind of been a threshold that we've been bouncing each side of here over the last several months. But let's talk about some of your sales on Tuesday. Ozarks Regional Stockyard, West Plains, Missouri. They had a light run of only 1,800 head. They had another 500 head plus on their in-house video they do with DV Auction, but it was raining pretty good in West Plains on Tuesday morning, and a lot of guys just canceled out and decided they'd wait till the weather was a little bit better. They called the calves steady, and yearlings were not well tested. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma. Now, normally I don't give you the quotes there until after their Wednesday sale, but due to expected weather coming in, they have canceled the Wednesday sale, sold all the cattle that they had consigned in there on the yards on Tuesday, ended up with just 4,900 head after they had such a huge sale a week ago with the 2-day sale. But El Reno had feeder steers selling $2 to $5 lower, feeder heifers $4 to $6 lower, calves $4 to $7 lower, and basically just a weather market there. I tell you what, they're real fair weather farmers in central Oklahoma there, and guys not excited about taking delivery of those cattle with kind of an icy cold storm coming that's supposed to last for several days. But pretty much a weather market there in El Reno, Oklahoma at OKC West. To give you some impressive quotes from all around the circuit there, how about Kimball, South Dakota, Kimball Livestock Exchange, 127 head, 901 pound steers, bring 159.75. Now that's just one bit away from 160 with some cattle weighing just a pinch over 9. That's a pretty good quote. How about Beaver County Stockyards on Tuesday? They had a good sale. And this was the best quote that I saw on big feeders there in the southern plains down there. 82 head, 792 pounds, so close to 800 pound steers at 163. Let's go out east to Bluegrass Stockyards, Lexington, Kentucky. That's the flagship location there for Bluegrass. 56 head, 760 pound steers. Now that's working towards 800 pounds at 162.90, sitting many dollars a hundredweight freight to get them to a commercial feedlot facility out east in Lexington, Kentucky. That's an impressive quote. But the best quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday, your National Beef Wire top quote for the day, come out of Phillip Livestock Auction in Phillip, South Dakota. Haven't had a sale for several weeks, but it had several impressive quotes on Tuesday. The most impressive one I saw was this 92 head, 670 pound steers in Phillip, South Dakota at 192.25. That's your feeder flash for Wednesday.